Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Victor, I will be praying all day for you. I don't need to know the details, but thank you for asking for that prayer. Rhonda, good to have you here. I know someone else is here. That's awesome. Glad to have you all. And those of you that have come in after the live to catch it later on, I am so grateful you're here. For all of you, I would ask that as you see this, you like it, you share it, and just get the word out. The more we interact together, the more that you interact with the YouTube channel, and even when I share it on Facebook, the more others have an opportunity to hear what you hear. Victor, I can totally relate to all of that. As you shared what you went through, I can tell you there was a day in my life where there was enough damage done in my house. It was years ago, but there was enough damage done in my house. It took me months to get it all repaired. I am not proud of that day by any means, but it was a day that God definitely needed to do a work in me. The fact that you're here this morning proves that God is doing that work in you. And so praise God for that. But I will continue to pray because I know that demon and how miserable life can be when it's attacking you. So this morning it is August 31st, 2023. The 8th month is coming to an end today. And we're looking at Proverbs chapter 31. Proverbs chapter 31 and the end of the chapter. Proverbs 31 often is talked about as the faithful wife or the capable wife or the precious woman, or it goes on, but it's talking about all the things that a woman should be doing in a household, or at least that's how most men read it. It talks about a woman who is empowered by her family and especially her husband to be all she can be. It starts out with the statement that who can find a capable wife? She is more precious than jewels. The very next words say, the heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will lack nothing. Here's the thing, guys. The end of the chapter, it reads this way. Her sons rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also praises her. Many women are capable, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. Give her the reward of her labor, and let her works praise her at the city gate. I want you to recognize something in all of this. It talks about a woman who is praiseworthy. But the reality is, it starts from calling something as if it is. You know, in Romans chapter 4, in verse 17, we'll read 16. It says, this is why the promise is by faith, so that it may be according to grace, to guarantee it to all the descendants, not only those who are of the law, but also those who are of Abraham's faith. He is the father of us all in God's sight. He's the father of us all in God's sight. As it is written, I have made you the father of many nations. Abraham believed in God, who gives life to the dead and calls things into existence that do not exist. We need to have our words in line with what God says. If you're going through a struggle in your life right now, your words about that struggle need to be in line with what God says, not what you see. I know, I hear the screaming in your head saying, but how? How do I talk about something that is clearly not that and act like it is? The same way Abraham talked about the promise of God and he never saw it. He's going to be the father of many nations. His descendants were going to be so numerous that they couldn't be counted. And when he had conversations about it, everybody looked at him and said, you got 2 boys and one was born out of wedlock. That is not a possibility. Right? I know. Our words have to be in line with what God says. As a husband, my words about my wife need to be in line with what God says about my wife. She's a precious child of God. She's a gift that was given to me. I need to be living my life fully and for my God and speaking what God says about my wife over my wife. But maybe something is falling apart in your life. Maybe it's your finances. It's not going to change overnight, but you got to remember what God says about those things. Dear friend that's going through a really tough time in his marriage right now, wanting me to tell him how to talk about that when the other person in the relationship is saying all the wrong things that are not in line with God. How do I talk about that? You can acknowledge what they're saying, but you can't own it for yourself. It's real in the moment, I know that. But you got to decide you're going to believe God. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. This man and his family see this about their mom, about his wife, and the world around them see it only because they started out by speaking it about her, about what God had said about her. And over time, it becomes the truth. If you want something and you know it's in line with God, you need to talk about it as if it is, until it is, and never change your mind. It's just the way it is. It's not easy. It's really, really hard, especially in the moment. Victor, you were talking about that fit of rage. I don't know what happened, but I can tell you this. When I was going through mine, and I've done it more than once, but that one was really sticking in my head right in this moment. I was talking about what I saw, and I was destroying everything around me. But when I started talking about what God saw, things started to come back together. Just something to chew on today. I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.